I had no intentions of making a video today. But the universe is so amazing that I ask questions or I have thoughts and things come to me, okay? So I want to say yesterday, a friend of mine posted something about, Black people not trusting each other. And this is a friend of mine that's a friend of mine, okay? And I responded by saying, I'm going to be honest. I tried to hold my tongue. I just respond with an emoji, but I let my melanin and the ancestors guide me. I see things that others may not. That's what led me to do what I did and how I did it in the first place, referring to the nail shop. I love my people and I will continue to fight in other ways, but please don't forget how infiltrated Malcolm, Martin's, and the Panther movements were. This isn't directed towards my friend that I was talking to, because I told her I love her like cooked food. But I will not ignore the warning signs I see in others. I won't publicly bash them either because I have no proof, but I will let my melanin guide me. And I just want you to know this has nothing to do with the people that were there in the beginning and Jade. Like, this has nothing. This is not towards them. I told you I left it in very capable hands, and I know that I did. But I also know I study. I am a student of history. I'm not a historian, but I am a student. I am a sponge. I do everything because I want to know how. I want to know why. I want to know how can we fix it. I want to know. And to know these things, you got to study, and I'm blessed to be in this age. There's so much information just on YouTube. Now, you got to pick who you listen to. But I try to listen to the scholars, the Dr. Benz, the Bobby Hemmitts, the Francis Cress Welsings, the Neely Fullers, the Professor James Smalls, the Professor Kaba. You understand? Dr. Layla Africa. And that just is, and some of the younger ones, like, because of Hidden Colors, Tariq Nasheed. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I try to pick and choose who I listen to, and I'm sure I left some names out. Edwin Nichols, Dr. Edwin Nichols. So I study and I listen to these people like on repeat, okay? Because it's right there. It's so easy. It's on my phone. You understand? Take advantage. But I saw today, Remy posted this thing. It says, white St. Louis cops indicted for beating Black protester who was an undercover cop. Now, that alone is deplorable, okay? But what I want you to pay attention to is for beating Black protester who was an undercover cop. Why are there Black undercover police in the protests? I want you to take a look at this video of this FBI informant who infiltrated LA. California. He was all over the place. And I'm also going to include a link so you can watch the entire interview with this gentleman. I'm going to find as many of those FBI, and I'm going to add those links below, okay? And so when you're out there, right, all over the country, all over the world, have your third eye open. Pay attention. Because not all skin folk is kinfolk. And that doesn't mean you got to stop fighting for your family. But you got to be smart. Pay attention. Pay attention. And be safe, family.
Tell me about some of the cultural organizations that you infiltrated and what you did.
PASLA, Mafunde, Watts Writers Workshop, which they had.
The Watts Writers Workshop?
Yes. Watts Writers Workshop, which was one of the oldest established Black writers workshop.
That place was burned down.
Yeah. The Bureau had it burnt down.
How do you know that?
I know because I participated. I did the arson.
You burned down the Watts Writers Workshop?
Yes. There, I built the stage.
You built the stage?
Oh, yeah. When I got to the workshop, the stage that had been, the original stage that had been built needed an extension on it. The original part of the stage was in terrible condition. They had no lighting system. I put the lighting system in myself. I put the stage in myself. And that was a stage, man. And that was a theater. do things that I didn't have to do. I would go out of my way. You know, like Mafunde would have a pageant and they needed someone to do the sound setup for him, and I'd say, of course I'll do it for you. You know, that kind of thing. I was very well liked at one time in the community.
Would you say to American citizens that this situation of surveillance and infiltration continues to this day?
Oh, yes.
On the dimension that you experienced?
Probably much larger by now.
Larger?
Oh, yeah. Let me put it to you like this. Each year, everything gradually escalated up more and more. So I figure when I left, it didn't stop escalating. As they say, one monkey does not stop anybody's show.
And were killed in the raid. 4 of the 7 surviving occupants of the apartment were wounded. All were charged with assault and attempted murder.
I remember walking out of the office and looking through a little clearing over on the next block, which was right in front of the Monroe Street address, and seeing a lot of police cars over there. And at that time, Bobby Rush came to the office. He had just come from over there, or maybe the coroner's office. In any case, we walked back over there, and we both were speechless. We just walked through the house and saw what had taken place and where he died, and it was shocking. And then I just began to realize that the information that I had supplied leading up to that moment had facilitated that raid. I knew that indirectly I had contributed, and I felt it, and I felt bad about it. And then I got mad, and then I had to conceal those feelings, which made it worse. I couldn't say anything. I just had to continue to play the role.
FBI headquarters authorized payment of a $300 bonus to informant William O'Neill for, quote, uniquely valuable services which he rendered over the past several months, unquote.
Various felonies including deprivation of constitutional rights, conspiracy to obstruct justice, and destruction of evidence. All of this stemming back to a night of protests after the verdict which acquitted former SLMPD officer Jason Stockley of first-degree murder last year. Took down one of their own, according to prosecutors, a black detective who was working undercover that night. Boone, Hayes, and Myers, who are white, used unreasonable force on the undercover officer, throwing him to the ground, kicking and striking him while he was compliant and not posing a physical threat. Also conspired to prevent information from reaching federal authorities, essentially hiding information. The indictment also alleges that Myers destroyed LH's phone to impede, obstruct, and influence the investigation. Text messages sent between the officers that prosecutors say expresses disdain for protesters and expressed excitement to use unjustified force against them. Officer Boone wrote, quote, "A lot of cops getting hurt, but it's still a blast beating people that deserve it."